Hey everyone, Jacob here. Tommy and I weren't able to make it into the recording studio this week due to some unfortunate circumstances. So what we decided to do was release an episode that was part of our practice time for you guys. This is an episode recorded for Willow. It's a little bit longer than our general episodes. We were still kind of figuring out our format and what we wanted to do, so it might be a little bit slower paced. Also apologize for the audio quality. It was back when we were using some different equipment and before we could really upgrade to what we have now and what we really like. So again, apologize for the inconvenience of not having a newer episode for you, but hey, it's a new episode for you, I guess, not for us. But I hope you guys enjoy and happy listening. Thank you all.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
I got it right this time!
I was really hoping you did. Hello, everyone.
And welcome again to...
Side A.
Oh yeah, Side A. Tommy and Jacob's little mixtape of mixing things and a tape. Not really. We just talk about movies.
Yeah, the majority talk about movies.
Which, I mean, movies when we grew up came on VHS tapes.
That is true.
Yeah. So, fuck all you haters that don't listen to this because nobody's listening right now. Anywho, so...
Do you think VHS is ever going to come back?
They kind of are.
They are?
Yeah, dude, we play with big Marios all the time. It's kind of like a retro thing, you know?
Yeah, it's
like an
hipster,
yeah, no,
hipster
kind of like how like a record players, like,
yeah.
You know, people... Or I guess new movies don't get... So I think some movies get released on VHSs.
Do they?
I don't know.
That'd be interesting to look up.
That would be.
Like, what's the last movie that
Well,
will be released on VHS?
I looked up the other day what blank VHS tapes are going for right now, and like an 8-pack's $100. And I remember getting an 8-pack for like $20 when I was a kid.
Well, wouldn't that make you think they're just not making them anymore?
No,
They're just stockpiled somewhere in Russia?
No, I mean, I think it's such a hipster. It's kind of like the Polaroid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Polaroid is super expensive now, but like, when I was a kid, those things went for like, you know, like $10 for like a pack of 24 that you put into your camera.
Oh yeah, but even the Polaroids are crazy now. You can connect them to your smartphone. And...
Well, yeah, but like old school Polaroid phones. Polaroid phones from 1991. No, old school Polaroid cameras, like, I don't know, like even like to buy new film for it, because I guess it's like with VHSs now, it's like they're so outdated that it's like it's more expensive to create because they're not being made in such a mass
production kind of thing.
Yeah, we're getting off topic there because we're supposed to be talking about Willow,
1988. Willow.
Which was really weird. That it says that because so watch it through Disney Plus. Is it? Yeah,
you watched it? It was on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh,
did you rent it?
I bought it.
Oh, you bought it?
I love Willow.
Oh, okay.
It was weird. I didn't own the DVD of it. I was like really surprised when I went through my collection and I didn't own it. I was like, that's really fucking weird.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, but Disney Plus said it was released in 1987.
I've seen that.
And I was like,
different ones.
That is wrong. Thank you very much, because I actually know that like IMDb has the official release date. It was like May 25th, 1988.
May 20th.
20th, thank you.
So it's over 30 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, I was just saying. I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm over 30 years old, you fucking jackass.
Well, at least Willow aged well.
Oh, damn! I need some fucking ointment for that. Alright, so yeah. Released in 1988. I actually looked up really quick some information on its release date and like what it did in the box office with other movies.
Oh yeah, I got that list right here too.
I actually have it on my laptop right here.
I handwrote it all, like the caveman that I am.
I mean, so I was actually kind of like out of the entire year, it was number 12.
Yeah.
And then, so do you want to list some of the movies that were like at the top?
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to come back to this too because I thought it was interesting. So number 1 for 1988 was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There was Coming to America, Good Morning Vietnam, Big, Die Hard, Cocktail, Beetlejuice. Like, this was just a good year.
Yeah, no, like...
There's a lot of really good movies that came out
on
this
the
year.
list that I had, like, it goes all the way down to, like, I think, number 50? Or no, I think it's all the movies, yeah. But even, like, it's like, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 came out this year. Child's Play came out this year. The Land Before Time, Oliver and Company.
Oliver and Company came
Yeah,
out this year,
dude,
too?
like,
I haven't
fucking...
seen that movie at all.
Dude, so the re-release of Bambi. The Great Outdoors. Like, Scrooged. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Scrooge did come out this year. Wow.
Yeah. The one thing that I was looking at was what movies was it kind of like in competition with? And I have like release dates in my list here, and it shows around May. So like, yeah, Willow was May 20th, and then there's not really much other that I saw that was released in May except for a week afterwards, or 5 days afterwards, which was Crocodile Dundee 2 and Rambo 3. And Crocodile Dundee 2 is the only one that's like is higher than it. It was number 5 that year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Rainbow 3 is actually number 13, right behind Willow. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, and then for the youngins out there that are completely unaware of this movie, Willow is a Nelwyn, is what they're called.
He's a little person.
He's a race of little people, like hobbits.
He was the original Hobbit.
Yeah, they're basically all hobbits, but they're called Nelwyns. Stumbles upon a Daifini baby, which is a human baby, that is meant to save the world. Is the idea.
So before Lord of the Rings was as popular as it was, because Lord of the Rings was a book obviously in the 60s.
1954.
54, really?
I looked it up because there are a lot of parallels.
Oh, 100%.
I was sitting there like...
Oh, what? George Lucas ripped off another famous story?
And I was going to jump to that. Directed by Ron Howard.
Yes.
And the story was written by George Lucas, neither of which I knew.
Yeah.
All these years,
yeah.
Never knew that.
Yeah, I had no idea as well.
It's always like, get the fuck out of here.
Which, it bleeds George Lucas.
It does. I don't know. I honestly, it's one of those. I kind of wish I didn't know that when I watched it again. But while watching it and having that knowledge, it was You were like, this says you basically just saw. You felt like he was on behind the scenes of the entire
man has come through.
Yeah, like a weird little puppet master for all these characters.
He is the Emperor. George Lucas is the Emperor. He is Emperor Palpatine.
Wow. Keep throwing him down long shafts, and he just keeps coming back.
Exactly. God.
But then the screenplay was written by someone named Bob Dolman. Did you?
Dolman, yeah.
Dolman?
Yeah, I looked up some of his stuff.
The
biggest one was Far and Away.
That sounded familiar, but I don't...
Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman.
Oh, okay.
He's like an Irish patient, and I never saw it.
Okay.
But I mean, it was like the biggest name. I was like, I know of it. I've heard of it. It's how Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise met.
Okay.
But that was also directed by Ron Howard.
Yes, so they have a little core. Actually, this movie itself is a big, I can't think of a better phrase, a cesspool of a lot of the same, and that's really, I don't mean it negatively, but I mean kind of like what Tim Burton does, where it's a lot of these same people, especially in the George Lucas circle.
Yeah.
That are all kind of together.
Even.
So we did the synopsis, but yes, I mean, George Lucas, Star Wars. He has a lot of things that he's written, but a lot of it is just created by. He hasn't really.
Yeah, well, story by. So I really think because it's so Lucasium. Lucasium. That sounds like you're say leukemia.
Yeah, we gotta figure out. That's actually I know what you're trying to.
Right.
Word for that. Phallic. Because in all the Star Wars movies, there was a lot of remember.
Oh yeah.
A lot of penis shapes in the
world. Because the world, it's such a very specific world. How it's all of the Nelwyns are called Pecks. The humans are called.
Oh, it's the derogatory term.
Yeah. The humans are called Daikini.
But that's their name. The Nelwyns, they're not in Lord of the Rings. They're man. Aragorn and not Aragorn, but Varmir is his part of the species he is man. This one is Daikini, but they are the
I see.
They are the menfolk.
So that Nolan is essentially just their
Hobbit.
Their Hobbit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like in the race is Hobbit, but they're the sub race Nolan or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because that's fantasy world. I mean, as I was watching this movie, a lot of it was like I'm having flashbacks playing D&D.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, very true to that.
But then Peck was just the derogatory.
Yeah. Well, that's a very Lucas thing. Like he has such a vast world that he creates, you know, and that's like Nora was like as I was playing, like knowing that it was a story by George Lucas. I wouldn't be surprised if he literally wrote like a short story or like a huge like 30 to 50 page synopsis, gave it to Bob Dolan, and was just like, here, I would adapt this story I just did into a screenplay format.
Well, because I think you're right too, because the version I got on Amazon was actually the like extended version, and it has like the commentaries and have you ever bought like an extended version on Amazon?
Not on Amazon, no. But
well, you can't like pick it, so you watch the movie, and then the specials just keep playing.
Oh, so it's like old school VHSs when they have the special.
Yeah, it's like that. But it's only like I would recommend not to. Like I got Deadpool unrated.
Mm-hmm. Because
it plays the rated R Deadpool, and then
the
play the unrated one, so you have to fast forward through the entire fucking thing. But even like with that, like I forgot about that, and I walked away for a second, and then I started hearing the movie play again, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I walked in, and it was a bunch of deleted scenes, and I watched a couple of them, and I get why they took them out just to condense it.
Yeah.
But there was some cool, like, to make the world more full and feel like with more creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
There was more depth to them, and I was like, actually, the deleted scenes are worth a look.
Well,
They're kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense for George Lucas liking to have as more than he needs.
Yeah, and then there's even interviews with like Ron Howard saying basically, technology-wise, what we wanted to do, we were just like they had this whole.
George Lucas was still making it pretty much.
Yeah, and they had technical issues. Like they had this whole what's called the Fish Boy, and there was like this sea monster scene that they were gonna do. But Ron is like, I ran into the same problem that Spielberg was having with Jaws. Just our mechanical creature, which we just couldn't get it to work properly. So they're like, you know what, we're losing a lot of money. Just scrap it. We don't need it.
Totally. Yeah. My brain just shut off.
Yeah, no, I completely lost.
Oh yeah, I was talking about like Lucas.
Lucasium. We'll get there.
I'm trying to think of like another like not prefix, suffix that creates like Lucasum.
It sounds like you're saying.
What about just Lucian?
Lucian? Well, Lucian's a name though. Yeah. I might get confused. We'll come back to this. But yes, this movie is very Georgie.
Yeah.
This is a very Georgie movie.
It was very much like it's interesting you say Spielberg again. So we're talking about like three of like biggest directors from the 80s. Well, I mean, I guess Lucas is more like 70s. But so there's such a huge feeling of this era of film that Willow lives in. Like it feels like a Spielberg, Lucas, Robert Zemeckis film. Very much because it's it's produced by Lucas, story by Lucas. They're all but it's it's kind of the beginning of Ron Howard's like big break into directing, and Ron Howard's still finding himself because like you look at his directing career and it's not like how Lucas's and Spielberg's came through. Like he started doing like let me bring it up really quick. Far and Away, he directed. That's a drama that's very far from Lucas and Spielberg.
Well, I mean, Ron's career kind of feels like all over the place.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But even I would say Spielberg's feels kind of all over the place too. He's got a lot of different themes.
Spielberg still kind of always keeps to that family action adventure,
and he definitely has a style.
Yes, 100%.
And so does Ron, but it's just that I feel like with Ron, you can be surprised.
Exactly.
You see a Spielberg movie, you're like, oh, this is definitely Spielberg, whatever. Yeah. But Ron, you're like, get the hell out of here.
Ron's like, he directed A Beautiful Mind. Or no, he didn't direct that. He's Manic Governors. Well, he's an actor in that. I'm just, where are you?
I thought he directed Beautiful Mind.
Maybe he did. He just
Because like I even have here like the three that I thought were really funny.
Yeah, he did direct them. Yeah, Beautiful Mind.
Was Cocoon, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, and A Beautiful Mind. Those three in succession made me laugh really hard.
Dude, did you skip over Ed TV?
What is Ed TV?
You've never seen Ed TV? No. It's Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. First time they worked together in a movie. But Matthew McConaughey, he just plays a regular old guy named Ed, and he just wins this like sweepstakes, and his life is just now being filled. It's like Truman Show.
I was gonna say, it sounds like the Truman
It's
Show.
like Truman Show.
Funnier. Like it's supposed to be ha ha ha, not like it's dramatic.
It's more, it's not as dramatic as Truman Show, because like Truman Show is like they're hiding it from him.
Yeah.
You know? Ed TV, it's like, oh hey, we're gonna start recording you, and then like
this is a VH1 reality show.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the idea.
And then so like it turns like then there's also like people that are trying to like be friends with him because they want to be on TV, and then it's like turns into like what's a real relationship? Like it's really good. It's really funny. It has Jenna Elfman, the girl from Dharma and Greg, is the lead actress.
You said Ed TV.
Yeah.
I want to write that down. Make sure to check it out.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, Ron Howard, great director. And you did a great job with Willow too.
I think Willow's really. Willow feels like it didn't age well.
I feel like it aged just fine.
I don't think it feels like to me it didn't age well because of the fact of the CG.
Well, I mean, you're never going to have like an 80s movie with CG that's going to age that well.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out the same year.
Yeah, but
that looks fabulous.
Yeah, but animation is different than trying to do green screen and blue screen like that.
Yeah, I know.
Because, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they were literally drawing the character on top of the frame that they were given.
That's right.
As opposed to, like, a bunch of people standing in front of a green screen and they're, like, cutting and pasting them out. And
yeah, but, I mean, it kind of had that feel to the Alien 3 thing. There are moments in it where they could have used costumes and makeup, but they decided to go with the computer aspect.
I don't know if, I feel like they use costumes and makeup to their fullest ability. Because, I was really impressed with the dog things. Those, like
the devil dogs?
The devil dogs, yeah.
The Rottweilers?
Yeah, because that was literally a dog in a costume, and it looked pretty terrifying, actually. Well, for its time. You can tell that it's makeup and whatnot. No, but it still looks really good for the time.
No, but it's also it's kind of funny because from when I was watching it, whenever those dogs were basically the evil queen and the bad guy in this movie has these hunting hounds, and they kind of look like big rats.
They look like a dog and a boar fucked.
Yeah, but with a rat tail. They have a long, skinny, leathery tail.
Some dogs got a greyhound and a boar.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they got the mane, and they're snarly and gross. But yeah, they're actually Rottweilers just wearing a rubber mask, basically. Yeah. But when you're watching them be led, you can tell the dog can't see very well.
Oh, because
they're just kind of like you can tell that they're having a hard time finding their footing. Because then you see the trainer or the actor that's with the dog really helping them.
I missed that.
I saw one in the background. Really, just you could tell the dog was like, "Where the fuck?"
Yeah. There's definitely speaking being an 80s movie, because I don't know, you can definitely tell through the 80s and 90s filmmakers were, audiences now are much more keen to pick out little things like that because it's been such a media art form for much longer. So in the 80s, no one's gonna fucking notice that shit. That was just the audience isn't gonna notice that.
Yeah.
I remember talking to older film teachers that are when I was learning film, they said don't really worry about your lighting continuity as much as you think you should because the audience isn't smart enough to notice it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, 100% we notice that.
Yeah. Well, and also go to how it was. I found basically reviews wise, if you go on IMDb, it's got a 7.3 out of 10.
Yes, that's where I want to go. Yeah,
totally think it deserves that.
100%.
And then one of I looked at professional critics and reviews, and I thought two were very much, especially because it seems down the middle people like it or they don't like it. And I found two So that kind of made me laugh. The first one was on the New York Times, was Janet Maslin, and her quote for the movie was, "Another serial type adventure, lavish, lumbering, and loud." And I was like, huh?
Was she trying to have that be negative? Because that sounds fun.
It does. I think that's, I was like, that's kind of an interesting one, because depending on how you, as a person, read it, it could be bad, it could be good.
Yeah.
And then another one from the Common Sense Media, Pan Gilman, said, for today's Harry Potter generation, a viewing of this movie will surely be of interest.
Yeah.
And I went,
yeah,
100%.
That's a great way to put it.
That's a really good way to put it. If you like just fun fantasy, like, don't go into it thinking it's going to be as... Because it does have the Lord of the Rings things, but it doesn't have the scale. And it wasn't supposed to.
No.
It's a very... It's the kind of what The Hobbit should have been. Like, in all honesty. I just had that epiphany. When they made this fucking trilogy of Hobbit movies, it should have been like Willow. It should have just been...
Should they have just remade Willow and called it The Hobbit?
Kind of. Because it has that fun quotient that The Hobbit had. And they tried to make Hobbit really... It was still fun, but they tried to make it more serious. It's very light. There are a couple of creepy moments.
I mean, Gollum's always creepy in this.
Well, I meant like in Willow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's dark tones and stuff like that.
Yeah, actually, one thing I give Willow great credit for is it's a great example in storytelling, like for film storytelling, because it has such a great natural pace, and it's over 2 hours long, 2 hours 6 minutes. So it's like a 2 hour.
Is it really that long?
Yeah, it's a 2 hour. Didn't feel like 2 hours at all.
It didn't at all.
No, exactly. Which
by.
is strange because like it's strangely like Val Kilmer. He doesn't even show up until like the half hour mark.
Oh yeah, and
27 minutes.
Val Kilmer is the
Mad Mardigan.
Mad Mardigan, the rogue, good guy, bad guy, handsome, dashing, sarcastic. Man, this sounds a lot like somebody else, doesn't it?
Who are you talking about there, Tommy?
I don't know. George Lucas wrote it. I feel like you could put it together.
Oh, is he like Han Solo?
Oh my god, he's totally like Han Solo.
Oh,
weird.
Whoa.
He's really great, though.
Yeah,
Matt Mardigan, he's a really good character.
No,
I just love Val Kilmer.
Well, no, Val Kilmer's just like he's crazy. He's fun. Yeah,
Pack.
Yeah, when he's in the crow's cage.
Yeah, he's just being a dick.
I like how his teeth progressively got cleaner throughout the movie.
I made a note of that. you see him cleaning his teeth,
like from the top
in the cage. Yeah.
Oh, I guess he is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I went. His teeth are fucked up. They're gray and yellow.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember his teeth looking like that. And then I went, no, they don't. Like, I'm like, are they just suddenly they're gonna make him look handsome again once he's out of the cage?
Yeah.
But right before he gets out of the cage, he's sitting there and he's got like some piece of leather and he's actually picking his teeth.
Oh, I thought he was just chewing on it.
It looked like he was. It looked like he was like, because then he just like and he like spits a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, oh, I told that there's gonna gloss over the nice pearly whites he suddenly has.
I mean, they did progressively get. It was like the more his character became a good guy, the cleaner his teeth got. In a really weird way.
And then also his
I think
costume.
His
costume started getting more
elaborate
and gold, and
which
became
it was very deliberate. You know, that's very much a director choice. Like,
that was cool.
We want to watch his transformation
into the hero.
Yeah,
he's a scoundrel becoming a hero.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
very Han Solo story.
Yeah, very Han Solo. And then the Frodo of this, if you will.
Oh, 100. Yeah,
is
Warwick.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah, Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis.
Which I never thought I would have said this ever in my life about Warwick Davis, but when I first saw him on screen, like when he was revealed, I was like, "Wow, he looks so fucking young."
Yeah, because he was 17.
He was 17.
Yeah.
Whoa, I thought he was like at least like I was thinking like young 20s, like early 20s.
That's what he's playing.
Yeah. Damn.
He's 17, and he really good friends with George Lucas.
Yeah,
because he is.
Was he in A New Hope, or was he?
No, he's one of the Ewoks.
That's right.
Which one is he? Oh, he's Wicket.
Yeah, that's right.
He's one of the main Ewoks, and they became really good friends during the filming of that.
That's right.
So this was kind of written for him, in a sense, to play this character.
Well, and his acting isn't the best. It passes. He's a very theatrical actor.
Yes, but I'd also say, in my opinion, none of the acting in this is great.
Well, Val Kilmer's was on point.
Even I found it.
Well, I mean, the movie itself is kind of over the top, so you're kind of expecting some over top acting. But also, again, talking about movies from the 80s, very fitting for this type of movie from the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, and great. I'm not like shitting on it.
Yeah, it was just like very like watching Warwick, and kind of like the entire opening part where after he's found Alora, the baby, and he's with his wife Kaya, just like so many hand gestures. It's like you're not.
The flailing of
the arms, the pointing at her. He like leans over the table, poses, points his finger, and then says his line. It's like, now listen here, Kaya.
Why did you make him like a 1930s gangster?
It just can't.
See here.
Yeah, listen here, Kaya. You have a job to do. We're not raising no dyke kitty, baby.
I love the idea of watching that movie with his big accent. I'm gonna be a great sorcerer. See, no one's gonna stop me. Nobody. God damn it.
But no, it's like as I was watching, I was like, man, it's like as in theater we would say you got to perform to the back of the house, back to the back audience, and that's what he's doing for a camera that's right in front of him. It's like, you're just way too big, buddy.
But did you know any of his back? Did he come from theater?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like all of those little people like have some type of like theater or circus like performance, because like especially like when you're like looking in the village, when like you got the fire eater, you got like jugglers. It's like I thought the casting for it was great, but like obviously their casting pool for that, like all of these little people that are performers, they're performers from doing like circus work or what have you, some theater work and whatnot. So I would assume like he probably has a little bit of that.
But I was reading that was like one of the biggest casting calls.
Oh yeah.
Of little people like on record, basically.
Oh yeah.
Which I was like, okay, well, it's better than not better. I don't know. It's just like I suppose they're doing trick photography. It's like, oh no, it's actually
like Lord of the Rings, what they did.
Like the Hobbits and stuff. It's like, oh no, it's actually they're actually little people,
which is awesome. I mean, no, actually, I think that's really cool because it, equal opportunity, man. I said that very condescendingly. Didn't mean to.
I'm looking at his face and he didn't mean
that. Because, like, I mean, it makes sense why almost said George Lucas. No, Peter Jackson. I was like, who the fuck did Lord of the Rings?
Would have been a really different movie.
Oh, very. Oh my,
George Lucas.
That would be a fun little sketch to do if George Lucas did Lord of the Rings. Or if Peter Jackson did Star Wars.
That'd actually just be a fun game in general, to take a movie with a really distinctive feel and director and then just replace the director with somebody else and like just talk about what it would be at that point.
That would be fun to do,
That would be a fun game.
But with Peter Jackson in Lord of the Rings, I understand why he did the, like, cast an actual, like, normal sized person and then like have like do the camera tricks and whatnot, because in that world especially of Lord of the Rings, it's like the hobbits, they weren't, because like there's very distinct features that little people have, like they have a little bit larger head for like their body size and whatnot, and it's like very very clear that you're looking at a little person as opposed to someone that is just like shrunken down in size. And that's what hobbits in the world from Tolkien are supposed to look like, is literally just like a human but shrunk, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type thing. So why are you looking at me like that?
I'm not looking at you anyway.
So yeah, I guess Warwick and Val Kilmer were like the two biggest names in the movie, other than, well, the female actress Joanne Whalley. She seemed to be more like Saoirse, yeah. She seemed to be more like a bigger star through like kind of the 80s-ish.
You know they got married, right?
Val Kilmer? Oh, no, I didn't.
For a short period after this movie.
Oh, of course.
It's like ignited something for a minute and then...
His weird confession of love, maybe?
Oh, with the fairy dust?
The fairy dust, yeah. I do want to point out that one of the brownies...
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I forgot to look up his name.
I just was watching and I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah, no.
Brownies are the littlest of people. They're basically, they're like the size of a fairy, but they're not a fairy. They don't have wings. They're kind of like
the borrowers.
Yeah, they're like borrowers, but they're like they're like the forest borrowers.
Yeah, they're like a forest sprite.
Yeah, they're like a forest sprite, and they call them brownies, and these little teeny tiny little people.
It's like a what the fuck was that book? The guy that got stuck on the island. Robinson Crusoe?
Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got that.
Yeah, I got that too.
Yeah, Gulliver's Travels. Yeah, it's Gulliver's Travel. I think they're a little bit bigger.
I mean, it's
not
idea.
very much.
Yeah.
But like that's the idea.
Actually, that's one thing. Speaking again, what I was really appreciating about the writing of the story is, as Willow's about to leave, his two kids are like, "Oh, can we come with you?" Blah, 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 blah. Bad child acting.
There's an 80s movie and their children.
Jesus. I don't know. I mean, it was cute. They're cute, but bad child acting.
They were cute kids.
They go through like, but aren't you scared of brownies? What about the fairies? What about trolls? What about dragons? And literally all of these things are brought up in the film, or actually shown. Oh,
Isn't that wasn't that supposed to be like a foreshadowing?
Yeah, no, it's 100% foreshadowing. No, it's great, and I love it. Yeah, no, and I love that because it's literally they just come in succession too. It's like the movie, like, how did I put it? Had a great build from the mundane to the fantastical.
Yeah, because it starts off with him being a farmer, and then his little his feud with his like neighbor, basically, and just the mundane of that, and then this baby washes up on the shore of their little river near their town. Then that's like, it starts causing that, and then you're right, then slowly builds up into this fantastical adventure. Yeah, that's gonna change his life.
And like during the climax of it, when the witches are fighting, and Willow's like fighting the weird stove thing that came alive. I was just sitting there watching, man, this movie really took off.
The end of that movie is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I was kind of in the middle. I was kind of getting because the whole idea too is there's an evil sorceress and she's trying to kill this baby because this baby with it has a prophecy.
Actually, yeah. I am on your laptop. You keep talking and I'll talk what I was going to say.
Okay. Well, yeah, just so that's the whole idea. So it's very cut and dry, good versus evil kind of story.
Yeah, yeah.
But in the middle, I was kind of getting lackluster. I started feeling kind of whatever about it. But then when it comes to that, the end, the Battle of Rohan, that end battle where things are really turning, I was like, this shit's getting lit. Especially the two old ladies kicking the shit out of each other.
Yeah, right.
I loved it. They were getting down and dirty too.
And it's such a classic, miss and scene of the evil witch all in black and the good witch all in white and with white hair.
Do you notice by the end of the fight though, the white witch had straight up claw marks?
Yeah,
4 distinct nail marks going down her.
That fight got vicious.
Yeah, I just noticed it was at the very end. She's everything works out. She just she looks at the camera, she's laughing, she's happy, but she's just bleeding out of her face. When the fuck did that happen? This bitch scratching you. That was pretty great.
All right, yeah. Do we want to switch over to Jacob's notes? Jacob's list?
I do want to just so we talked about some of the cast, but someone that when I was talking about just the little cesspool was a guy named George Lucas and using the same kind of people was Pat Roach.
Pat Roach?
Pat Roach. Pat Roach is General Kale, the big, evil, scary general with the skull mask.
Oh, yeah.
Who I loved, by the way. I thought he was a really cool minion.
I kind of went back and forth with him. I thought he was he seemed like he was going to be a lot more menacing, and then all of a sudden he was just cowering to her. I mean, I know it's showing status of her power. Yeah. But
well, he has a great voice.
Yeah.
It was very Darth Maul. He didn't say much of anything throughout the movie, but he has a really cool, if you listen to just the quality of his voice, he has a really cool voice, and his look was really cool. Even his horse had big horns coming out of it, armor, and had big horns. Just this whole thing was really cool. But the reason I bring him up is because he's in every single one of the Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. In Indiana, sorry. Lord of the Rings and the Ring. Every single one of the...
Indiana Jones?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Uh-huh. He's the big...
Is he a cameo in each one?
No, he's actually you just don't ever recognize him. He's the big Nazi by the plane.
Yeah,
that kicks the shit out of Indiana Jones.
That's what he meant, cameo.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, like, it's not just like past. He's actually in frame for 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, that's a cameo.
I know, but I thought you meant like walk, like Nick Cage in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That's not a cameo. That was like him as an extra.
Okay, so yeah, okay, fine, cameo, not extra. That's what I was thinking when you said cameo.
Yeah.
He's
like Stan Lee's a cameo.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, it's a cameo. But yeah, then he's Temple of Doom. He's the chief guard.
Okay.
Kicking the shit out of Indiana Jones again, and then the third one.
He's kicking the shit out of Indiana Jones.
He's not. I was really.
Damn it!
How funny was that?
At that point,
Indiana Jones kicks the shit out. He's one of the Gestapo on the blimp to Berlin, or
I don't remember Last Crusade very well.
Okay, yeah,
I know it's like Sean Connery, and I know it's like going after the whole.
But yeah, they go up on a blimp, and he has interaction with one of the Gestapo. And
you chose poorly.
I'm guaranteeing what's going through your head is not Indiana Jones. It's How I Met Your Mother, huh?
No, but they actually say that in Indiana Jones.
I know, but was that the scene were you thinking of that, or were you thinking of Indiana Jones?
I was thinking both. It's a callback to that.
I know, but it's in your head because you just said you didn't remember it. I was like, he's from.
No. Like I remember the end of it more than anything.
Oh, really?
Like them choosing choosing the cup because he chooses the old cup, and then he takes it out to save his father who got shot before they went in there, Sean Connery. So yeah, I mean, I think I've seen the end.
I got it. And also, did you by any chance recognize
some of the little people?
No, who played Bavmorda, the evil witch, the evil sorceress?
She looked really familiar. I looked her up on IMDb and nothing popped out at me.
Yeah, I didn't really.
I don't know. Maybe she just has a famous evil witch look. You know what? Actually, you know what she kind of looked like? The evil witch from Snow White.
Oh,
the cartoon.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah,
the evil queen.
Yeah, like 100%, like that, almost like 100%.
Identical. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Even her costume looked really familiar.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, these are just things I would ask you.
Yeah, no, totally.
Do you remember who Screwball is in Legend? The name sounds really familiar. Because the shaman of Willow's tribe, his name is Billy Barty. Wow, what a great name.
Yeah, right?
Billy Barty. And he has 212 movies under his belt. Oh, nice.
Fuck.
Yeah, Billy Barty. What a guy. I wrote it down.
Screwball. I'm trying to... I'm just thinking about the scene around the fire when they're like... I don't know. I haven't seen Legend in a long time.
Yeah, that's all I can really... Okay, that was it. But also, and then Warwick Davis has a pretty... He's got... I never realized he was a leprechaun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I never did that.
Yeah, no, I've known that, and it's one of those things where, I know it, and then I forget it.
Until you know it again.
And I was like, oh, I knew that.
Yeah.
Actually, what's funny is, my recollection of re-knowing it this time was I was looking through his IMDb list, and I saw Leprechaun 6, Back to the Hood. Or is that, yeah.
Back to the Hood. It's like back to, right?
Back to with a number, with a...
Yeah.
The, with an A. The Hood. Back to the Hood.
Was there a first to the Hood?
In the Hood.
Oh, that was Leprechaun in the Hood?
Yeah.
And then there's Back
That's
to
Leprechaun 5.
The Hood.
Yeah, so I saw Back to the Hood, and I was like, oh, Warwick Davis was the Leprechaun in number 6. That's interesting. Keep going down. Oh, no, he just was the fucking Leprechaun.
Were you ever into those movies?
Not really.
I kind of feel, I feel like they might be your thing. Or
I mean, Jennifer Aniston was in the first one.
Yeah, that was one of her first.
Yeah. It was that was her, I think that was her big thing before Friends.
I was going to say her breakout role, but not really a breakout role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so do Jacob's notes.
Jacob's notes, yeah. Alright, so first thing that, I always enjoy a classic, prologue opening, how Star Wars had, again, very George Lucian.
There you go, George Lucian.
Very George Lucian.
I think you need to do George Lucian, not just say Lucian.
Yeah, George Lucian.
Because Lucian's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. That's very Lucian. Or it sounds like a weird architecture. It's a very Lucian kind of design.
Hey guys, I gotta tell you something.
Positive test. Positive test.
I tested positive for Lucian. I can't watch Star Wars movies anymore. I don't know. I was trying to bit. All right. So yeah, no, Perry George Lucian having the text kind of like it sets up the story. It gives like it gives like the prophecy, like
it gives you the backdrop.
In a world where their people will die if this witch is there and baby is born. That's how I read that stuff. So.
With an old time.
Oh man, the old baby comes. The old baby. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So prophecy has told. For very George Lucian, and I always appreciate that, and because also then you have the very very beginning with that, then where it goes immediately in the baby is born, the evil witch. They're introducing the evil first.
Who's straight up just killing babies.
He's just straight up killing babies. I mean...
Yeah, she's literally going for... has these mothers in cells.
Yeah, no,
and it's going to...
Literally, if you think about this, gathered up all the pregnant women.
Yeah. Put them in disgusting conditioned cells for them to have birthed. Yeah. And then with the plans of, as soon as it's born, I'm going to...
We're going to kill it.
Destroy your baby. Not even kill it.
Destroy.
Send it to she wants to send it to another realm.
And don't even get me started on that fucking ritual.
No,
it's
we're talking about that later.
That's at the end of my list.
Okay,
here.
cool. I'll jump in there. I had so many questions about that scene.
So we were talking about the weird boar dog things, hellhounds. I like that you were calling them hellhounds. Because that's
how I was reading online. People call them hellhounds or devil dogs. And I was those are real.
Because on the closed captionings, it said dogs barking, and I looked up on the screen, and those weren't fucking dogs. So I was like, that's a fucking dog. That don't look like no fucking dog to me.
It's this is the normal dog for your world.
Jesus Christ. Nobody got a pet now. And I was saying, great animal makeup. It's my note was, it's like a dog and a boar boned. I just like the word boned with boar. Boar boned.
A Great Dane, specifically.
Oh, no, it was a Greyhound.
Greyhound, specifically.
Greyhound, specific Greyhound. Or, no, I was going to think of Doberman. Not a Doberman. The Dobermans are like Rottweiler and Greyhounds breeding together.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Huh.
That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, okay. You're not sure if that's how they're made.
Why are you calling me out my shit?
I'm not. Someone that, anyone listening to this knows anything about dogs, they're idiots.
Yeah, right. I like how when they first, when the kids, first find the baby, and then Willow is what? Oh, it's a Daikini. Push it down the stream!
Yeah, fuck it, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's like, well, this child is dead. Now, his first thought is murder the baby.
No, he wasn't gonna murder. He's just gonna push it down the street.
Nobody saw it.
But also, I will say, in his defense, though, that baby is pretty indestructible.
Dude,
they're carrying that baby through a lot of shit, and that baby's fine. That baby, that was
it's smiling.
Yeah, happy the entire time.
I like the setting for the ominous evil castle. When it finally has this the.
Dude, that was a cool design.
Yeah, no,
that was a cool castle.
Great design for this entire fucking movie.
Yeah, when you finally get the full shot of its mass and its shape, that was a good evil castle.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
It started getting they had a lot of cutaway takes with the baby, and the baby's cut. I don't know what the fuck they did to how is that baby a better actor than those children at the beginning of the goddamn movie?
Well, there are two of them.
There's two children, two babies.
During this time period, with
that's right. There's
twins. They're twins, yeah.
But there wasn't twins for those fucking kids.
No, not his kids.
Yeah, for just the baby.
Just the baby.
Even still,
it was also a very pretty baby.
Yeah. Well, it has charisma coming out of its fucking ass.
Also wearing a wig.
Oh yeah, I guess that was a wig. Actually, that didn't really distract me. It looked very natural to me.
Oh yeah, and they apparently they had to use honey.
To keep it on?
Here, because you
can't use spirit gum?
Yeah, it's going to be too rough for their skin.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, but I was just just a really cute baby.
Such a cute baby. How long did they have to sit there and just record that baby to get the right facial expression
for those cutscenes?
For those cutscenes, because it's that baby is it's like a 20-year-old mind trapped in a baby's, just doing the side eye, just like, oh, look at this fucker.
What does that baby look like now?
That's a good question. I'll have to look that up.
Well, then what do you do? Is it even a girl? I have no idea. I didn't even think about it.
You know what's weird? That baby probably about the same age as me right now.
Oh, yeah. Weird. That is weird. That is a weird thought.
I got something to invest, Tommy.
I am that baby.
I didn't really like the trolls that much.
I didn't particularly care for them. This thing that stuck out to me.
It started to become like very Jim Henson-y with like their like makeup and whatnot.
It didn't. They didn't fit in very well. Their noise though, their little screechy thing. Did that sound super familiar to you?
No.
Okay. I want to figure out.
Didn't really pop out to me.
I'm just wondering if it's something that George Lucas had used before.
Oh, very possible.
Because it sounded really familiar.
I mean, it could just any of the fucking weird creatures from Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but there's something really big. I was like, this sounds... watching that movie.
Also, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it has, like, almost the entire Lucas, like, sound team. Like, the composer... Oh, I forgot. I wanted to look up the composer.
I looked it up.
Was it John Williams?
No.
Oh, okay. It kind of felt like John Williams a little bit.
It did, but it didn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, since you brought up the composer, what did you feel about the music?
I think that's a thing that I was kind of thinking about this because since we were talking about Hellboy the music last time, and I really did not like the soundtrack to Hellboy. Well, because I felt like Hellboy had a soundtrack, and then also like it's like
had a score.
Well, I mean, every movie has its own score. Like Hellboy had a score, but it had a soundtrack as well.
But this didn't have a soundtrack.
No, and I don't really like soundtracks in certain movies, and like. Like a song or two here and there, like kind of makes sense if it's like fitting to the world. Like thinking about that Iron Man in first Iron Man when it's like Highway to Hell is playing in the background while he's like building the suit like in his actual like in his place. Very fitting because it's like this is what he would be listening to while he's making the Iron Man suit, and it's very fitting and whatnot. And then in Hellboy, it's just like all of a sudden they're in the middle of the fucking country and you hear Jack White just fucking... That's very bad Jack White impersonation. But like, no, the score for Willow fit so well. And it carried it and it helped highlight a lot of like the moments and whatnot. Like,
because if you break it down to there's the traveling song.
Yeah.
That plays when they're going from A to Z. Yeah. There's the whimsical kind of that song. The one I didn't care for the most was Mad Mardigan's like the fighting scenes.
Like towards the end?
Just it had a similar there was a similar kind of
it was so again, very just Lucian. It felt like I was like watching Return of the Jedi or even like Indiana Jones. Like the music was very reminiscent of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I had that feel. Because that's the same thing. As soon as the fight breaks out, a certain song plays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I didn't care. I don't know. There was something about it that I just...
Do you think it was just like it had already been used so much at this point that it was like...
I don't know. I really can't. I couldn't pinpoint. I was just like, had no problem with any other...
Or it's like John Williams light. You know, it's like someone's trying really hard to be John Williams, and it's not him.
And I feel bad for... I looked at the gentleman... Can you look him up real quick?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got my laptop's going really slow in here, just by the way.
Because I looked him up, and I don't want to just give him... Like, I don't want to talk bad or want to actually know the person's name. Sorry, guys.
What do we got here? See full cast and crew. I actually might be getting it quicker than you. Oh, that's a very long cast list. Music by James Horner.
Original music, yeah. James Horner.
That name sounds familiar.
So he did he was in the music department for
Titanic, Avatar, Deep Impact, Mask of Zorro. Those were like top ones.
But that was just the music department.
So, I mean...
What does that mean exactly?
It's just... you have to go into the music department credits to see what he fully did.
Or you can just go like...
Dude, he orchestrated and conducted The Karate Kid, in 2010.
Oh, the Jackie Chan one?
Jackie Chan, yeah.
Yeah, no. So, actually, I have his composing credits right here. He actually I take it back, sir. You've done a lot stateside.
I mean, generally, a lot of, like, they generally do a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, composers can, like, do, like... Oh, we did the 95 Jumanji.
Jumanji came out in 95?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, wow, he did Aliens. Cocoon.
Huh. Again. Big old circle, like, group. Like, everybody's
Right.
already known each other
Exactly.
for this entire thing.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, though. I mean, like, look at the... Okay, so you have the George Lucas, Spielberg, Ron Howard, Robert Zemeckis fucking circle. And then you have, like, right in today's day and age, you have, like, the Coen brothers that work with, like, their specific people, like John Goodman. I can't think of it all off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Well, George Clooney's a big one the Coen brothers work with a lot. But also, like the Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen.
What is that group called?
I don't know.
They have, like, a little name. It doesn't matter.
Or like the new Breakfast Club or something, or the new Brat Pack. I mean, because the Brat Pack as well, with like John Hughes and like Emilio Estevez, and you know, like there's always like little Hollywood cliques that you kind of fall.
Well, yeah. I mean, also, it's like if you find someone you like working with, why not just keep working with them?
No, exactly, right?
Like, fuck it. Why do we have to find a new person?
Alright, so talking about going back to the trolls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one I actually really the troll egg was a very strange, like when he uses the wand and the troll like morphs and then it turns. What I would assume would be the best thing to be a dragon for the movie, the two-headed like creature, serpent. It was like a hydra.
Yeah, it was like a hydra. Yeah.
But like I don't know, like that entire scene while Val Kilmer's like running around kicking ass, and this is also
Awesome.
mind you after he had already confessed his love to Sorsha from the brownie. The brownie fairy dust, and she's just like literally watching him, just like kill all of her men, and she's just like
super into it.
Oh,
Which I was like, at first when that whole thing was happening, I was like, this is ludicrous.
Oh, 100%.
Wait, but I'm not done.
All
I was like, this is ludicrous because this weirdo that she was basically trying to kill confesses a love, and then she kind of gets a little hot and bothered for a minute, and then the tent comes down and the whole escape and whatever. And then she sees him killing and everything, and you can see that she's starting to get the feels, and she grabs him and makes out with him. And I was like, this is ridiculous.
It's so 80s.
But then I thought about it a little more, and I got kind of like analytical about it in the sense of, this poor girl's mom
Yes.
is a psychopath baby murderer that's probably not really shown this woman any ounce of actual affection or love. So the first person to do it,
Yep.
I was like, actually, that makes kind of sense.
Like, could you imagine her inner monologues? Like, oh man, no one's ever said these things to me, but I gotta kill him.
Yeah. Oh, poor girl.
Oh, but he's so handsome. Oh,
And he's good at killing, you know.
It's all. I mean, it's very 80s. So she doesn't really have that great of an arc. Like George Lucas also is not very good at writing women.
You don't think so?
No, I mean Leia is really his only best thing that he's ever written for women, and even she has a lot of like shortcomings in like this in the script sense.
Okay.
Like expect like A New Hope, like so of course like she like she is a very like strong feminist icon. You know, I'm not denying that at all. But you know, she's first a damsel in distress, but then like the switch on like but she can take care of herself, and she becomes a general, but her arc is very dependent on Han Solo and very dependent on
especially
Luke
like,
Skywalker.
you're talking about her initial arc.
Yes,
Because she is the damsel in distress.
Yes.
She's the princess.
well, even like I mean even in Return of the Jedi, she's like leading the battalion and whatnot. She's doing a great job. Her personal arc is still reliant on her love for Han Solo.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, it's still leaning into like a woman's story has to rely on a man to be there, type thing.
Do you think that's an age thing?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's just
a thing of the time.
It's a thing of the time. I mean, it was a thing all the way until like the 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, or even like 2010s. Like it's.
I guess
within
because
the last.
Think about like Ridley.
Yeah. Well, no, Ridley.
Ridley. No,
it's Ridley.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
It's Ridley.
No, Ridley's in his.
What is her fucking name?
It's Ridley.
Ripley.
Ripley's, believe it or not. Ridley.
No, Ridley.
No, Ridley Scott is the director. Why? Oh my god!
I feel this
is so bad. This is so bad. It's Ripley. It's Ripley. But why am I only thinking Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Because that's what that's called.
I know, but like I feel like it's wrong.
Yeah, why?
It's Ripley. It's Ripley. It's Ripley. It's Ripley.
It's Ripley.
It's Ripley.
Okay.
We're cutting all that out.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so going back, yeah.
Talking about like especially with the time period and women characters too. Someone like Ripley in Alien, her being the badass.
Well, that was originally written for a man.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh.
That's why her character has no love interest.
How did she get it? Were they casting for a man?
They were originally casting for a man. I don't know the whole story, but I know that the character was like Ripley was originally supposed to be a man.
Oh.
And I forget exactly how they ended up casting Sigourney Weaver, but they decided to change it to a woman.
Good call.
I think part of it was like since it's a horror sci-fi, and like at the time it was like a female is like it was like it's like more the damsel in distress. Like I think they also wanted to avoid doing like a Predator thing.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know which one came out first.
Alien.
Did it?
Yeah.
70s, right? Yeah, 79, 100%. Yeah.
But it's like when she came on the scene, and then the Alien, and then jumping to Aliens, where she's like basically the voice of reason. Like, you need to listen to me. I have dealt with this before. You have not. But that's when it became more of an action movie.
Yeah.
And then she killed it, especially with the fight scene.
But then they also started to do much more of a mother storyline with Aliens, where she's now protecting the child.
Well, yeah, but I mean, she's still a very strong...
She's a very strong woman, yeah.
Yeah, kick-ass, badass. I mean, that's when I have a huge crush on Sigourney Weaver.
She's very attractive.
Yeah. Anytime, like, watching TV with Val and or like a movie, she comes on and goes, that's my girl. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I love her.
So yeah, Sorce's character had a very minimal arc. I mean, obviously there's, as we were talking about, it's like, yeah, she's probably never loved, since she fell in love with Val Kilmer. So, but I mean, he's a handsome dude. I'd fall in love with Val Kilmer.
Yeah, that's great and grad.
Yeah, right.
That's actually pretty good.
Actually, that was another thing that I really liked about the movie is their consistency sticking with costuming and stuff. Because like a lot of movies can like fall like, especially in the 80s, they can fall into the trap of like as soon as he was like, they break like he's done being a dragon or like running away, he just like finds a nice a tunic to wear or whatever,
Oh, but it's like that. It's like you take it's the whole dress,
mm-hmm.
and then the top part's off, and now it's like a kilt,
and then he like ties it,
and then he turns into like shorts,
yeah,
and then he gets like a tunic, then so again he's shirtless when he gets captured. Mm-hmm. Which also, did you notice when he got captured again, he had whips on his back?
Yes,
I was like, cool little detail.
Dude, Ron Howard is a great director, dude.
I wonder if that's also a deleted scene.
Oh, like him getting whipped?
Yeah, like him being tortured to tell him where
possibly. But I mean, it's not necessary for this. Like,
no, but then, but also, I just feel like that must have been a thing for the whip marks to be there.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of like what I was talking about earlier with like visual storytelling and how No Country for Old Men is a master class for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is those little like details that you would never think about, but you see it and it immediately tells a story.
Yeah,
it's like you don't have to see the whipping; you see the lashings on his back, and you immediately know, oh, he was tortured for this information.
But it's like they didn't. But it was so.
No, exactly.
Oh.
But there's a couple of things like in this movie in particular, like when Willow's hanging from the troll off the bridge. I had to actually rewind it to see how Willow did not get eaten by the Hydra thing, the dragon, because he's hanging from the troll's legs, and you just see the dragon like and like swallow the troll pretty much. But you don't. It's literally just like a couple of frames where you see Willow like swing up and catch the beam underneath the bridge.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's like it's so subtle, and like this, like all of the like blue screen or green screen and like special effects they have happening for that time, it gets very muddled up, so it wasn't very clear. And so like you just see him sitting on the beam, and you're like, how the fuck did he get there? I think actually kind of had a weird flashback, like remembering that as a kid and looking at all like, how did Willow get there?
Well, that's also I think that's an editing thing too, because there is a deleted scene.
Oh, really?
Right then, where he's doing to saw the troll because he can't kill it because he doesn't have like a weapon or anything. He's doing magic tricks.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like kind of like doing like a sleight of hand to a monkey.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. Like the troll, like just being blown away, and he does like a.
That sounds horrible.
It wasn't great, but there is the end of it. He gets like a piece of like twine, and he does like this little magic trick. And then
while he's hanging onto the troll.
No, they're still
on the bridge.
They're still on the bridge.
Oh, I was like imagining he was like dangling from the troll, like, oh, look at me, ha!
So he's doing all these like magic tricks, and he gets this twine, and he does one, and then like I think the troll like grabs it, like like out of curiosity. And while the troll's looking at the twine, Willow just reaches behind him and picks up a rock and just sucker punches this thing across the face.
That would have been really cool.
That was the cool. You're like, this is so stupid, and then he just whack, and you're like, okay, Willow, I see you. Like, okay.
Oh man,
that was pretty cool.
I really enjoyed that entire action sequence actually.
That whole fight in that castle, that was pretty.
Because
cool.
it was really cool to see, and then also obviously the Eric's army coming to like.
Oh, Eric being
Eric, not Eric. Eric. Yeah, Eric. A with K.
AIRK. Eric.
Which I really like that name.
Yeah.
Because it's like Eric, but it's medieval times. So it's Eric.
And Eric is Mad Mod.
Yes.
Best friend, right?
Yeah.
Or ex-best friend.
Yeah.
I actually wish he had more screen time.
I did too. I did like him a lot.
He gave me a Kiefer Sutherland vibe.
I can see that.
Or maybe a young Donald. Kiefer? No, more of a young Keith.
I mean, I feel like Kiefer Sutherland's just a clone of his father.
They're very different.
I mean, maybe personality-wise.
Yeah, the vibe was
Kiefer?
Yeah. I do have to think of Kiefer Sutherland. I think of Jiminy Click.
Oh, really? I always think Lost Boys.
Do you remember Jiminy Click?
I've never seen Jiminy Click, actually.
No one has seen Jiminy Click. I'm the only one I've ever met that.
It's Martin Short, right?
Yeah, it's one of his characters. Yeah. But no, Eric, I really did want Eric. I really wanted Eric to have more screen time. I really liked him as a character, and I kind of wanted a little more development between him and Mad Mardigan. And also, real quick about Mad Mardigan's name, as a child, until now, because I watch everything with subtitles now, but as a kid I didn't. Yeah. I always thought his name was Mardigan,
and it was just like
they were calling him Mad Mardigan. Like he's crazy. He's
mad. He's a madman.
Yeah, like that's what I always thought. I didn't realize his
He'll sell you on the back to take your money. Ha!
I never realized his name was actually Mad Mardigan, which I have to say too. In this movie, I think the name writing was pretty phenomenal.
100%. Yeah.
Bavmorda, the evil sorceress. Bomb.
Yeah.
That was a great name.
Or Alora, I can't remember the last name, but the baby, Alora, that's such a beautiful name.
Yeah. And
the savior of the
General
world.
Kale.
And then Finraziel,
Finraziel,
the good sorceress.
The good sorceress,
yeah.
Gandalf, yeah.
Yeah, the female Gandalf. Yeah.
I do when she's being imprisoned and she's turned into all those like different animals and everything. The voices that they used for her animal voice drove me up the wall.
Really?
You couldn't understand. I realized that this whole time, like, since not watching with subtitles, I never knew what she was saying. I could never understand.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Fathers, they sent me fathers.
I never realized that's what she was saying. Now I'll never unhear it, but
yeah.
I was always like,
actually, I kind of like the special effects when she was the lemur. When they first find her, she was a lemur, right?
A lemur.
What was
I know she's some
marsupial of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what she was though.
Yeah.
Wombat? No, she wasn't a wombat.
Oh no. I don't know. Well, yeah.
But yeah,
it was really good special effects on the use of like moving the mouth while it was talking. I felt.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
Like, it was very subtle. I think it was just because it was so small. Like the mouth was so small.
Well, yeah.
All right, moving forward through the notes of Jacob. I really enjoyed that Willow's magic kept backfiring all the time because it was setting up for like when he would finally have his success.
Well, that's how he made the troll into a dragon, right?
Yeah.
It's not like trolls don't turn into dragons.
No.
As a kid, was always confused by that. I was like, huh?
Well, no, it's like, and then also like every time he tries to fix or change Raziel back to her normal, turns her into another animal, and she's like, "No, you did it wrong again."
When she actually does become, that's actually kind of sad when she does become human again.
Oh, because she really she's like, how it's been this long?
Yeah, she hasn't. She hasn't. To her, she doesn't realize it's been like 40 years.
Yeah, because even when when they're first captured and it's Willow and Mavmorda get in the cage, and he's like, "What do you even look like?" She's like, "I was a beautiful young woman." He's like,
"Beautiful young woman,"
and he's like, "Oh, keep." Mavmorda's like, "Yeah, focus, Willow, focus."
I never noticed that.
Oh, really? You didn't hear that?
Well, speaking of just transformations and just what they do with the animals too, that scene where Bavmorda turns all the warriors into pigs.
That's my next note.
That
was terrifying.
Cool. Yeah, that was unnerving. That was really cool.
Yeah, no, really great use of there was a moment as I was watching that scene, I was like, man, how cool this scene would be with today's special effects.
It wouldn't have been as cool.
But hold on. It's how cool it would have been with today's special effects, but with the special effects that they had at that time, it was so fucking good.
That was so good.
It was so good. Because, they didn't,
the whole ending for that movie was pretty good.
Yeah. They did such a great job with it, just, cutscene of, a prosthetic on someone's face, and just them, and pain and whatnot.
Teeth coming out.
Yeah, but you never saw anything, actually grow on the screen.
Because they left it to your imagination.
No, exactly. And that, they did, that was such a well-crafted and edited scene. They probably spent 3 days, 4 days for just that 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, and even when we did the pan too, there's one of the soldiers laying on the ground. His upper body is still basically human, but his lower body is ribs and just the butt of the pig. That was a really unnerving.
I guess my only thing with it is they all turn into just regular pigs, but they were all growing huge tusks and whatnot.
They were turning into boars.
Yeah, and it's all of a sudden it's where did their fucking tusks go? Actually, maybe the original thing was they are supposed to turn into more boar-like pigs.
But they had to get their hands on boars.
Yeah, good luck.
As opposed to some pot bellies.
Yeah.
I was reading somewhere on some article, I can't credit it or anything because it's been on multiple, but multiple sources were saying that the film crew had a really hard time with the pigs because they kept trying to have sex. So they kept having to throw cold water on them to calm them down.
That is one of my favorite things I've ever heard.
So it's
movie trivia.
I was trying to watch it in the background when the pigs were running around.
Trying to see the fucking pigs.
They were trying to
just oh, look at that horny little fucking swine right there. Yeah, get that fucking swine.
Yeah, I was just I gotta see this. But I couldn't find anything. So, but yeah, a lot of sources say.
I like to watch pigs fuck in my free time.
Please someone take that and run with it.
So now we're starting to get into the ritual.
Oh, I will say that in an hour and 29 minutes you can see Darth Vader.
Oh, the guy that was Darth Vader in the the actual
No, there's just a soldier that looks a lot like Darth Vader.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that in that scene when Mavmorda is just running around killing everybody in the castle.
Oh, really?
He shoots an arrow.
Oh, wait. In the first castle.
Yeah, the very first.
That was going back to that. Really, I love how at the when they're in that snowy place and they run into Eric and his army, and they're hiding out, and Eric is "What, you're gonna take them all on by yourself?" And he fucking does.
Yeah.
It's I love how they do such a great job of having it seem that Mavmorda is oh, maybe he is he knows how to fight, in the whole the horse carriage scenes, oh, he knows what he's doing.
Cool scene too,
that was cool. No, there's a lot of great action scenes in this movie, and with very George Lucasian, with very humorous setups through all of it as well. You know, because the brownies are the R2D2. You know,
yeah, R2D2 and C3PO.
Yeah,
kind of try and help, kind of get in the way.
They have their own shenanigans happening in the midst of all of this,
of all the chaos,
but end up saving and helping at some point. You know, in one way or another. God damn it, George Lucas! You're so predictable nowadays. Yeah, very I really enjoyed watching Val Kilmer just running around wrecking people.
Well, yeah, or when that castle scene too, when Willow's in trouble, he straight up just shoots himself out of it.
Oh yeah, just
hard into the wall.
Yeah, to talk about devoted friendship here.
Yeah,
it's for a man you met not even a week ago.
Yeah, he just cuts the cord and bow. That made me laugh pretty hard. I was wow. Like, oh yeah, so
yeah, this fucking ritual. All right, so first, god damn it,
he's about to get worked
this
up.
baby gets fucking captured. All right, Alora is captured. I figured it's just like kill the fucking baby, problem solved. No, she's
Make
got
a sound bite of that, please.
kill the fucking baby.
Problem solved.
She has to send it to another dimension, to the 13th dimension or something.
To the 13th night, a realm of oblivion. I think it's something like that. She said,
and it's like, okay, so how many fucking babies have you done this to?
Well, I think the one because it needs to have that birth.
So it's like
mark.
it's just Alora is the one.
Yeah,
so she's just killing babies. Other hand before this.
I would assume she's not gonna let them go with the mothers and the babies. That I think she's just gonna kill those, but she needs to do the ritual for this one. And maybe it's like the whole the spirit. You need to get rid of the essence.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's destroying
any chance
the light that lives inside of.
She's
Alora.
making sure the prophecy can't.
What was the name of that fairy witch from the woods that gave?
Gloverdian. Govandria.
I was about to say Glenda the Good Witch.
Gilvandria, I think, that's pretty close. I don't know if that's 100% right.
Yeah.
I'm just
Don't hurt yourself, kid.
No, it's like Gilvandria's wand. Because I keep talking about Willow's wand.
Alright, so this fucking baby gets kidnapped. And they take it to the castle, obviously, and then good guys follow in suit, and they set up camp out. So it's like, I like how they get to the castle, and it's like, oh, well, we gotta set up camp. Like, there's a fucking baby in there that you guys need to save. You're just gonna settle. I mean, obviously you need to come up with a strategy, but like, we'll attack at daylight. It's like,
they always do that though. It's better to fight in the day than at night.
So they're just gonna this baby's. How fucking long is this ritual? Okay, this is what fucking happened to all of these people in the midst of this ritual happening. Willow transforms Raziel. Raziel transforms everyone back one by one.
Did she do it one by one?
It's what it fucking looked like. They're like, now bring them in, and one pig comes in, and she starts to do her thing. I'm like, is she doing it one by one?
And it's like guaranteed 100 pigs.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Obviously, maybe she's not. They have a strategic war meeting, which who knows how long that takes.
Oh, I know what the next one is coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. Because I was thinking the same thing.
Dig some fucking holes in the ground,
which no one knows,
unnoticed by anybody.
Not even just holes for people.
Horses,
standing horses that come out.
It's like a fucking Monty Python sketch with the fucking guards at the castle. Like, oh, what they doing out there? Digging holes. Oh, what that's for?
What are they digging holes for?
Oh no, looks kind of boring though.
It was dark outside. That's why they needed to wait for daylight.
Or, are all the guards inside the castle watching the ritual?
No, but even then, if you, in that scene, they're all on the wall.
Yeah!
They're all watching this way and looking at Riverdale, or...
Riverdale? Sorsha?
No.
Raziel?
Raziel, yeah.
Oh.
Willow and Raziel standing there, and apparently, these guards have nothing else to do but stand on the front wall.
Maybe Raziel's put a cloud of deception up. I don't know.
I will, but that is something also that I don't know for a fact, but I am going to go back and just watch these scenes out of my own curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like I feel like they deleted stuff for time that they might have needed to make sense.
Well, it's also I don't know, it's suspend your disbelief. It's a fantastical world,
That's a lot of time.
No, exactly. It's like they dig all these fucking holes. God knows how long that fucking takes. And then wait for daylight.
I feel like it was pretty late in the night already.
Yeah, but, okay. How the fuck is this baby not already in the fucking world of oblivion yet?
She's a procrastinator?
No, it's how... No, it's...
Bavmorda.
The evil witch.
Bavmorda, there's no L. Bavmorda.
Bavmorda.
Well, then going back to the ritual too. So, like, yeah, she's going to be sending this baby to the plains of oblivion. Let's just say, kind of super Elder Scrolls to say. What is it? Open up the jaws of oblivion. It's like the intro. But there's a couple things that make sense about that whole thing too. So once this baby was around this woman, she started looking. They made her look real creepy looking.
She was getting a lot more like haggard and evil sunken in. Yeah.
Was there supposed to be some like point, like maybe her being so close to this baby was making like killing her? Because the whole thing was like this baby will be your end. It doesn't say how. It's not like she's gonna grow up and then she'll kill. There's no specifics about it. But is it like you're so evil, you're so good, like fire and ice? Because that was a kind of reoccurring theme. Is that they can snuff each other out? Because you got, and then maybe it was just for the look, for the final fight, to make her scary and evil looking. But I'm kind of like, why at that point do you make that decision? Why don't you just do that?
She may have just started getting drained from doing this, the ritual that takes 5 weeks and 2 days to do.
It seemed like a pretty simple ritual.
Yeah, I know. Got it. Well, it's like they're doing it it's like what they wrap the baby in weird ribbon, put it on the mantle.
Yeah, it's a present. It's a present for the people in oblivion. Gotta wrap the present.
Gotta wrap the present.
Tacky to know.
Put a bow on it. Where was the bow?
And then she cut off the hair.
Cut off the hair. Put it in the blood.
And or the red. Was it blood?
Was it blood?
Something. It was red something.
It's a fucking evil ritual, alright? It's gonna be blood.
Those cranberry juice.
It was the blood of all those babies.
Oh, maybe. But yeah, so she
does pretty fucking dark.
She does that, and then she gets caught monologuing, basically.
Was she no, she was performing the ritual.
No, but then her and Rizal get into a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Which, again...
Well, okay, so we gotta back up. So, wrapping the baby up, cutting the hair off, and pouring the red juice into the thing takes, what? Enough time for horses to be dug in a hole?
Apparently.
I mean, the only thing that I can think about is, the rituals, if there's 13 candles to light, and she's literally, she's doing some, stuff, it's finally light the 13th candle. So, maybe it is just a fucking long-ass ritual.
Or maybe it could be a timing ritual. At a certain time, you can do something.
Well, maybe the ritual has to be done at daylight.
Yeah,
Well, that doesn't make sense, because she, calls upon, the spirits, right at the beginning.
No, she calls upon lightning.
Lightning, that's right.
But yeah, the lightning put its energy in the pedestal, and, okay, cool, check, that's off the list.
I mean, it's just, that's definitely, one of the things that was, most unclear, is, and, most unrealistic, was, this baby, by the time daylight came, this baby is gonna be in oblivion.
Yeah, you're right. It's a bit, again, if you just want to live in the fantastic world idea, but it's you could have put a little more direction. Even Raziel saying something along the lines of, we have X amount of time, that would have taken care of it.
Oh, 100%. One line of dialogue. Or even Balthazar, whatever the fuck her name is.
Bavmorda.
You're supposed to learn her name. I learned every other name.
I have a little cheat sheet right here.
Oh, nice.
At the very bottom of the page.
There's one. I can make fun of one name. Even if she was prepare the ritual, it has to be done at daylight. Or something like that,
Yeah, one piece of dialogue could have easily, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but to snuff out light, one must be in light, some bullshit,
Yeah,
some rule.
Something cheesy like that.
Yeah, some rule that the good can only be killed. Yeah, I don't know. But you're right. They could have done one piece of line and would taken care of.
But yeah, no, it's but this is again, another great action sequence. What the action sequences themselves built on each other too, which I thought was fucking great. Even if you want to break it down, the first action sequence of the entire movie is when all of the Elvens are killing the Hellhound.
Oh yeah.
So because that's actually that's the first point of real tension in the movie too.
Yeah, real immediate danger.
Yeah,
basically.
And then but very, it's very calm. It's still oh, okay. And then you have the getaway car chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
The car chase scene.
Yeah, the car.
The runaway horses.
The runaway horses,
which is a fun scene. And then the castle, the fight at the castle with the dragon and the trolls. So it's like it's building.
Yeah,
it's building.
I'm trying to remember the name of it again.
Tyr Asli.
Tierslin. Yeah, Tierslin. Tierslin. Again, good name for a castle.
Yeah, no, again, George Lucas, great. I mean, actually, I didn't say this earlier. I feel like George Lucas is really great at coming up with names for like sci-fi fantasy stuff.
Which is one of like, as someone that's dabbled in writing, names are some of the hardest things.
Yeah.
Just to make it not sound completely ridiculously goofy,
yeah.
Especially when it comes like sci-fi fantasy kind of stuff. Like, how many fucking vampires in the world do you know that are named Vincent?
Yeah, right.
A lot.
And then your final battle scene where it's like you got Sorsha and Mad Mardigan fighting the entire like evil army and whatnot with Eric's army. I can't remember what their kingdom was.
He says it when...
He says it at the beginning when Mad Mardigan's in the crow's cage.
Sounds a lot like Gondor.
It's like Ramador?
No, it starts with a G too.
Oh, okay.
It was like really...
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not that important.
No, it's not. But yeah, and that was another interesting... That was actually really good dialogue too, because then it's like you kind of get an idea of, one, what their falling out was, and why he's a scoundrel, as he betrayed his people in some way or another. And that's why I thought the name Mad Mardigan really fit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I thought he did something crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's also, like, that's writing 101.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you want to have, like, your heroes' names have something, like, that fits for, like, redemption or, you know... like
a theme.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's that whole, like, battle scene going on and whatnot, and he keeps interjecting, like, with the sorcerers, the Evil Witch and Rajel, you know, having their battle, which, for 80s movie, pretty well done.
I really, like I said earlier, I really liked their fight scene. It gave the same, it was like cool, but also gave the same kind of chuckles of when like Sauron and Gandalf fought.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna be kind of rude here. Two old geezers just kicking the shit out of each other.
No, exactly.
There's something. It's like, I know this is like a serious, like pivotal moment of good versus evil, but because also there's a scene where Razel, she gets pinned on the ground with
the
rubble, and Bavmorda's coming up, and it's the idea she's going to do the killing blow.
Yeah.
But then Razel gets hold of the wand, and she starts doing that chant. Mm-hmm. But then she starts doing that repeating chant. Bavmorda's just spinning through the air crazy fast, and gets slammed into a wall. I was just like, this shit's great.
There was also a moment when Raziel just like punched her right in the face.
Oh, yeah, square in the nose. I was like, God!
And then like Willow, like whatever happened, I don't know how that weird like table or
they were fighting over Bavmorda and Raziel were fighting over
the wand, and it just animated the
it shot off a spark and it came alive.
Yeah, and I don't know what it would describe, like a weird like bone stove.
Yeah, it looked like basically like a four-legged, like almost like reciprocal, like and had bone like a human skull.
It looked like something out of a Tim Burton film.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I kind of wish they had maybe done like some kind of puppetry with that.
Yeah, because it was very clear. I mean, yeah, very. Well, I mean, but I also think like going back like in '88, like people aren't really noticing. Like they're noticing it, but they're like, oh, that's really cool that they can do that now.
No, totally. But I'm also, and you know this with me, is like I always, if you can do puppets and makeup, I say always do that because I'm still a firm believer that your brain processes as that's actually physically something there.
Yeah.
And I think that always works better for...
I think that one would have been a little bit harder to do.
You could change the design of it.
Or just change it to something different.
Yeah, you could totally...
Maybe like have it be like a weird like gargoyle statue.
Because
but it's, I don't know, I think they also, it's like something non-menacing becoming menacing, and that's like Willow's fight for this thing for the moment, you know? And then when he finally pushes it out the window. I was actually... So that moment when he pushes it out the window is when Mad Mardigan is fighting Kale. I know that was really cool. Also, okay, so going like the whole like Kale fighting in this whole thing, he's like tearing apart people left and right. Him and Eric get into a fight, and I was actually really sad to see Kale kill Eric. And when Mad Mardigan runs up to him, I was like, oh, am I going to cry right now? Am I going to cry?
That was weirdly for not having much interaction with him, you kind of felt like,
it was actually a really great. They did a great job establishing the relationship of Eric and Mad Mardigan when he's in the crow's cage. Like, there's obviously an amount of respect between the two, because Eric just is like, "Oh, Mad Mardigan."
And he laughs, he laughs, and he's like, I always knew you'd end up in a crow's cage.
Yeah, no, really good setup. And then
it's clear they were friends.
Yeah,
at some point.
And then when they're in hiding in the snow village, you can tell that there is a repertoire with them. And then when I think it's when when Eric sees that Mad Mardigan is actually helping Willow, Eric has realized that there is a change of heart in Mad Mardigan,
and kind of gets that respect back that he had initially,
which is why they come to Tirith Lane to save them.
Yeah.
So then, it's there's actually a good there's a build and a good arc with
Eric's sword was really cool too.
Yeah, is that the one that attached to the?
Yeah, it's a gauntlet.
Yeah, gauntlet.
Big ass broadsword.
No, and then so fucking Mad Mardigan picking it up after Eric's dead and going right after Kale.
He scans the entire battlefield and goes, there he is.
Yeah, and it's Kale guy you can still Kale feels it too. Yeah. He's looks over, he's yeah, fucking come at me, bro.
That was a really cool scene, and also just it still haunts me. And I remember I remember it coming up too. But when Mad Mardigan finally kills Kale by kicking up his sword and pulling him into it,
that was so cool.
The noise. There's a very you can hear it breaking through the metal, and then because it's a ribbed it's a serrated blade on top.
Yeah.
And they added an effect. It almost sounds like you can hear the hitting the bone.
I didn't hear that actually.
Yeah, I remember as a kid horrified, and I remember I didn't really think about it, but as I got closer to that scene, I was like, "Oh god, here comes that noise!" And it's a crunch of the metal, and then kind of through his ribs, and then kind of a death gurgle, and I was like, "That was dope." That was a good bad guy death, and then throws him off the fucking bridge. I was like, "All right." That guy dead.
I was so... Man, no, I it's been so long since I'd seen the movie that... it was kind of like watching the movie again for me. Or not again. It was like watching...
How long do you think it's been?
Since I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So not again. It was like me watching the movie for the first time.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it since I was probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
So when Willow pushed that weird thing out the window, and then it cuts to Mad Mardigan and Kale fighting, oh fuck, that's gonna fall on Kale's head probably. I was like, that's gonna be. I was like, I thought Willow.
Oh, did you think it was gonna be almost a comedic?
Yeah, it was gonna be almost kind of comedic, or maybe Mad Mardigan was is getting pinned by Kale, and that's what saves Mad Mardigan.
Oh, I could see. Okay, I could see.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I was because they kind of set it up in a good way for that to be a thing, possibly, but it didn't go that way. Yeah. And I was happy it didn't go that way because of because that fight scene was just so good.
You wanted that to be Mad Mardigan's fight.
Yeah,
that was his fight.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and it worked out very well with that. And then Sorsha just kind of lost in the. I guess she wanted to talk to her mom, right? That's right.
Yeah, and then somehow miraculously got knocked out for no reason.
Because she's not, she's not a good.
She's
not useful anymore. Right?
That really, really bugged me. So she goes up and tries to stop her mom from doing the ritual, and then her mom picks her up and is going to throw her into some spikes. Raziel stops her, and then they drop her just maybe 5 feet on her feet, basically.
Yeah,
and she's out. She's out. I was like. Well, she did kill those priest guys.
Yeah, She came in, did some damage. Not a usable writing tool anymore. Goodbye.
Yeah, I was just what? But just real quick, just on that creature thing that Willow had to fight with the whole CG thing. The only reason I think that should have been done differently is because it was in such close proximity to all real things. With the big dragon, it took up so much of the screen.
Yeah,
you could kind of hid a little bit better.
Yeah,
but since he was surrounded by physical objects and him fighting it really looked super out of place.
And it was also since it was such a dark room, I the lighting with that dragon thing, very very helpful because it can hide the edges.
It's so bright.
Yeah,
right. Is that
yeah,
what you're
yeah. Okay. And with it just being such a dark room that Willow's fighting in, the edges of it being a very clear.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then Willow's final arc when he
becoming a sorcerer.
Becoming a sorcerer.
I don't know why I went to salad fingers.
No, so obviously, like Bavmorda, right?
Bavmorda.
Bavmorda finally knocks out Raziel and has the wand, and Willow has captured Lord and is about to run out of the room, and Bavmorda is closes the doors.
Well, that's when she gets caught. That's when I mentioned she gets caught monologuing.
Yes,
it's like if she had just gotten the baby and finished it.
It was killed Willow. It's you're dead.
Yeah, she got caught.
You're dead, Beck.
Yeah.
No, and then it was clear to me when he stood up and then when he kind of looks down, and then he's when he says, "I'm a great sorcerer," I was like, "Oh, he's gonna do his pig trick."
Oh, from the beginning, right?
Yeah, because I was it's full circle right there.
Yeah.
And again, awesome writing. I mean, it's kind of on the nose, obviously, but it's a
good back square one.
It brings it all the way. It's completing his hero's journey.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that, especially because it frustrated her so much that he didn't actually have to kill her. Her own frustration was the end of her.
Well, that's one of my notes that I was going to bring up, and since we're on here too. So, in case anyone can't remember, in the very beginning, he's doing magic tricks, and he tries to make this pig disappear, and then sleight of hand, the pig pops out, and everyone in the village laughs at him. When he's claiming to this sorceress that he is also a powerful sorcerer, he says that he's going to make her disappear into a dimension where evil can never touch her.
Yeah.
And the sorceress Bavmorda is that's impossible.
There's nothing like that. Yes!
Yeah.
Why did I stutter on that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he doesn't actually, he does the fake little spell, and then in this bundle in his arms, which you assume to be the baby, disappears. Then she loses her shit. But then why did it kill her? I didn't get that.
So, I don't... Yeah,
so she knocks over the... Oh!
I think she knocked, the stuff that she knocked over that mixed together was going to be what she's supposed to put on the baby.
So whatever she puts it on is going to be sent to oblivion.
And then the wand used as a lightning rod.
Okay. Yeah, so basically she freaks out when the baby disappears, and in her freak out she knocks over the cranberry juice, blood, whatever, spills on her.
The blood of the innocents.
Yeah.
Of the infants.
And then she takes the wand and points it up, and when she points it up she gets struck by lightning, and then she gets turned into mist, and then gets sent to... Okay, then, alright.
Yeah.
Okay. I was watching I don't get what the hell just happened.
I mean, also, it isn't explained like that. We have deduced that's what happened.
Well, because, the spell at the end of the day, she's opening up a doorway.
Yeah.
The doorway's open. She basically accidentally pushed herself into it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. That's what...
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It is kind of like a strange Deus Ex Machina. Just, do you know what that means, right?
No. That's what I'm
it's God is the machine is what it translates into. Why am I failing so hard to describe what this is? It's when the element outside of something just comes in and saves the day without any reasoning, reason. It's a cheap writer's.
It is because it is.
Yeah,
basically.
It's when, let's say, you're watching something and, somebody's fighting and, the hero's getting his ass kicked, and then all of a sudden the character out of nowhere appears and saves him. And it's where the fuck did that person come from?
Or it's why is there magic in Harry Potter? Because there's magic.
No, because magic is part of the world.
But, okay, you're saying, this is more of a mechanic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a mechanic, not a part of the world type thing.
Okay.
So it's it's a by chance thing happening to save the day.
It's there because it's there. It happens to be there because it's there.
So it's not a thing that is there. It is a thing that happens. It's an event.
Okay. I'll wrap my head around that sooner or later. But yeah, so end of the journey, evil queen gotten rid of, and that's just basically it. And then he has his journey home and reconnects with his family.
Yeah, no, it's it kind of wraps it up into a neatly built. It is also, there's Sorsha comes out at the end, and now she's wearing the white because she's
now good.
She's now good. She's
now
not
a good
evil princess anymore. Yeah, those weird flies flying around in here.
It's suddenly too.
No, they've been around the entire time.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah, and then Val Kilmer, he's Mad Mardigan.
He has a nice new tunic.
Nice new tunic. He's all clean.
He's got new braids.
And he's all friends with Willow, and he's now a righteous man.
Mm.
He is
he's Han Solo getting his medal.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
He picks up Willow, puts Willow on the little person horse. Because it's a little horse. It's a pony.
Oh, like, is that totally necessary? It's a fucking pony. Jesus. We get hate mail.
oh God, yeah. And yeah, no, it's like even like, the brownies are all like they were celebrating. We didn't talk much about the brownies this entire time. They're like
because they're just they're comic relief.
Yeah, they're the R2D2 C3PO of the fucking.
Shit.
But they're not as
shit.
like they're not as poignant, I guess is the word I'm looking for, as R2 or C3.
No, they're funny little characters with funny little voices.
No, this way. No, you forget. I'm the leader.
Yeah, they're Bia. He jumps. They're literally just there for humor.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, but
they're funny.
But it's that's definitely more for the children.
The children
for the infants that were massacred for this movie. But I did the final joke, the brownies though, when the shorter one takes off his cap and he's bald.
Hat.
Yeah, his rat hat, and he's like just bald, and the other one just kind of looks over at his bald head, like wasn't aware that he was bald the entire time.
Wait, actually, both the brownies are somebody. The taller one is someone too.
I looked him up. He looked familiar, like somebody else, but he didn't. It's
not him though. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe we'll look it up after this is after we wrap up.
I'm pretty sure. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed that last little bit. And then Willow. Yeah, he just goes home and he sees Kaya and his wife.
Nothing we mentioned her.
Yeah, I talked about her earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was doing, when I was talking about his arm stuff, and
yeah.
Kaya, I got a job to do. Ah. Yeah, and yeah.
So all in all, what was your?
No, hold on a second. The button joke of the movie is when Willow comes back, and now he actually is like he's learning to be a sorcerer. He's learned some magic. He throws the rock in the air, and it turns into a dove.
Oh, like the shaman guy did before.
Yeah, and then it shits on Cuddlebutt or whatever that guy.
His bully in the village.
Yeah. The big little guy.
Yeah.
The big little person. Yeah, no, actually, I was like, he gets shit on again, or like, what?
He got thrown up on.
He got thrown up on. He gets more fluids thrown on his face.
Yeah.
And just a good little button, like, now Willow's gained the status of the town. He's like the town hero. And everyone joins. Yay! And then it fades away.
With that really great song. Remember when they're having that little festival in their village, and there's that really great violin, kind of like a jig.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then they fade out, and they start off with that. I was like, that was a good note, like very positive.
Yeah, no, it was a very much and the end.
And it was over, and didn't take 3 fucking movies to do.
No, exactly. I did feel like I wanted a little bit more closure with Mad Mardigan and Sorsha. Like, I don't know, like. Is he going to be is he the commander of an army now?
Yeah, or is he like a father?
Or are they going to go and or are they going to go and live in Tir's Lean?
They were in Tir's Lean.
Well, yeah, I guess.
They were, yeah.
Oh, that's right, that's where they left off from. That's right. I don't know why I kind of thought they were leaving the evil castle.
No, yeah, they were in Tir's Lean.
They were in Tir's Lean. They also didn't show, they didn't show them saving all of the people in Tir's Lean.
Actually, yeah, wait, they never even talked about, why were all those people in stone?
Was it still? I guess it was
Is that a thing trolls do? I don't remember.
No, it was I think that was a curse that Bavmorda.
Oh, Bavmorda did that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think they kind of briefly said something about that.
I would assume in a fantasy thing with Bavmorda gone, her magic is gone too. So
well, I mean,
that explains where all those people came from, because those are all just civilians. Because all we'd ever seen at this point is soldiers.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
but I mean, I don't know. That could have maybe that's a deleted scene, and they just kind of felt it's not necessary for the story of the film.
Well, I mean, George Lucas wanted to do a second one.
Oh, really?
It was not received well, so it's now just, I think it's a book.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's called something, I can't remember what it's
called, but yeah, like I was saying, and my final note is actually, it's like a great build from the mundane to the fantastical. Maybe talking about like all these story arcs with these characters, and like how like I was talking about like how the action scenes kind of built upon each other. I really think the movie itself is actually a great example of like storytelling. Like you can really like just dissect this film, and I mean it's a cut and paste thing. Like you could literally just like, if you're like deconstruct the script, it's like prologue, introduction, evil characters.
So basically, you could use it like if you had some kind of writing block, you could take this formula, put it down, and put your own spin on it.
Yeah,
100%. Make it your own thing. That's a good idea.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, it's very simple. It's very basic. It's easy to digest, easy to watch, and it's fun for the family.
Well, yeah, and then like I got this quote off IMDb from some kind of from a user, and I didn't see a name on it, but I just think it's really like, I think it hits the nail on the head. 32 years later, this is still a cool movie.
I like that. Yeah,
that's it. It's just a cool movie. There's like fucking fly. Yeah, there's just.
I mean, it's got a 7.3 on IMDb.
Yeah, it's got a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you see that?
No.
So 50% think that it's fresh. 50 thinks it's rotten. It's like
half and half.
It's like half and half.
Well, I feel like that should be higher.
Like I said, I think that like if you like the Harry Potter quote.
Well, I don't know. I actually kind of have a. I don't really like using Rotten Tomatoes for judging and stuff anymore, or like.
But I just wrote them down.
I mean, because like, I mean, they just recently changed this, but Rotten Tomatoes, like people without even seeing a movie. I mean, you can do this for anything without even playing or seeing a game, seeing a movie. You can make a review, but like The Last of Us Part 2 had like a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes or like Metacritic or shit like that before the game even come out. Like,
yeah, but you can't look at reviews and shit like that. I think it's so stupid that you're allowed to leave reviews before something even comes out.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like there's just, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people that just write negative reviews just to write negative reviews.
Yeah, I mean,
especially on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. I will say I'm kind of proud of myself for not doing over-the-top comparison to Lord of the Rings. It was really hard to not. So if you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan, just keep in mind you are going to see things that might...
There was more comparisons to Star Wars.
I don't think so.
No. That we...
in this one. Well, because we're talking about George.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I would keep that in mind. I kind of found myself falling into this Lord of the Rings comparison when I was watching it, and that's just not fair to do for this movie. This is not what the movie was trying to do.
I definitely, like, after the movie was over, I was like, so what do we learn from this? Like, I thought about, I think Gandalf says it to Frodo, it's like, or something, it's said in Lord of the Rings, like, just because you're little doesn't mean you can't do great things, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
No, it's not Gandalf. It's the Elven Queen. Well, that's actually that scene when she meets the Fairy Queen. When he meets the Fairy Queen, it's very similar to the white and. Oh wow, I didn't think about that.
It's like George Lucas read something before he wrote this.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm talking about.
You're so close.
Yeah, it's like no, that's like a big.
It's like the smallest rock in the pond can cause a ripple, kind of.
Yeah. You know, it's like it did, like, and also like definitely like, you know, learning to like, Willow, be courageous. Willow, be courageous. Be courageous, Willow. Like he's like it said his mantra through like things. Like it's also like, you know, learning to accept yourself. No, not accept yourself, but. What am I trying to say?
Don't let other people tell you your limitations.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good one. You know, it's like,
don't let and then for Mad Mardigan, don't let your past define you.
Yeah, there we go. It's
and
like,
Sorsha too, actually.
Sorsha as well. Yeah, no, it's like the journey from scoundrel or evil to light. You know, yeah. No, good redemptions and whatnot.
I do have to say though, there's a quote that I think is really funny when she is in her Roselle is in her crow form. Mm-hmm. As the crow flies, you fools.
Oh, yeah.
That sounded really familiar too.
She didn't say fly, you fools. She said follow me, you fools.
No, as the crow flies, you fools.
Oh, like, that's right.
Where I fly, follow me.
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds very, very
fly,
you fools. Very So again, like all I'm saying is it's really hard to not do that, especially if I've watched Lord of the Rings countless amount of times. It's hard.
It's not unlike George Lucas to find some because Lord of the Rings obviously is still like 10, 12 years out from being made.
Well, yeah, and it's also like
and he based all of he based A New Hope, first Star Wars, more off of the Odyssey.
Well, yeah, it's one of those, like, you could shit on him all day if you want to about that kind of thing, but he makes entertaining shit.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So it's like, alright, whatever, man. Like, everything's a ripoff of something.
Yeah.
So you can't be too hard on it, you know? Oh, and I also counted the Wilhelm scream once.
Same. Oh, yeah, actually, I think I marked the time on it, too.
Did you really?
At 53 minutes.
At 53 minutes?
Yeah.
I should have marked the time, I didn't think about it. But also, they're like, what?
One Wilhelm scream.
That would be the time.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, I think that's...
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to add?
Watch Willow. I recommend watching Willow. If you haven't. Or watch it again.
Watch it again. Also just to see Val Kilmer and makeshift drag.
Young Val Kilmer is just great to watch in general. Like he's a very charismatic actor.
Yeah.
Like very I was trying to say entrancing actor.
Yeah.
Like
he's not hard on the eyes either.
No, he's not.
Good looking dude.
Even when he's got those ugly teeth.
Mm-hmm. He's got beautiful long chocolatey hair and braids. It's great. But yeah, so this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
Thanks for listening to Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Have a good day, or time, life, whatever. Don't kill babies.